everybody. Happy Sunday. Hello. It is Vanessa. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Vanessa Kinsey. I am a business and life management coach, passionate about efficiency, simplicity, and helping you find solutions to clear the obstacles that are standing between you and the life that you want to live. And so today I thought we'd talk about one of my biggest obstacles, and I think that there's going to be a few of you on here that can probably identify with this. But before we even get started, I want to make sure that you guys can hear me, because I've had this problem before about my broadcasts not coming up. So let me just check online and make sure my technology is working today and I'm broadcasting to my audience. Let me just see. And it's working. So, you know, as is usually the case with these videos, and actually this is episode number 3 of Adventures in Happiness, where I do this every Sunday. And really what I want to do is just introduce you to the people, places, and things who inspire me. And what I had planned on doing today, the show that I plan on doing, is not the show that I'm going to end up doing. And as often the case when I do videos, the topic really chooses me as much as I like to choose the topic chooses me. And so that's kind of what happened today. This morning, before I even opened my eyes, my first conscious thought this morning was being able to feel my old familiar friend, enemy actually, sitting on my chest. Before I even woke up this morning, before I even opened my eyes, I could feel this heavy weight sitting on my chest, and then the feeling that I also get like around my throat area of just being like suffocated and not being able to breathe. And my old friend's name is anxiety, and that is something that I have lived with pretty much for as long as I can remember. And until I made the decision that I really wasn't going to allow it to control my life anymore. And that is something that I basically had made the decision to put it in the back seat when I had the awareness of how much energy that it was costing me. And I'm talking that this has been something that I've dealt with for years. I have a, diagnosis of generalized anxiety disorder that I don't say that I have anymore, because I feel like I've made great strides in changing it. But, the first step in changing it was really the awareness of how much it was affecting me. And I really got to see, I think when I really, I knew that it was really starting to take hold of my life. I was becoming more and more afraid to do things. Flying was a big issue for me. In fact, kind of being able to conquer that fear is really what's been able to allow me, because that was so big and overwhelming and it didn't feel like I was going to be able to change it. That's what's allowed me to feel like there was something I could do about it. Because if you have anxiety, and I would love if you have anxiety or know that feeling of what it feels like to have anxiety, and maybe it manifests differently in your life, or for you, the feelings of it are different. But I would love it if you just throw up in the comments, put up in the comments a heart, so I can say hello to you and, and let you know that I know how it feels that to have anxiety. And so often, people will say to me, wow, I can't believe that you're, doing these things, that you get up and you're able to do these videos. And the fact of the matter is, I'm just doing it whether I'm afraid or whether I want to do it or not. And that's pretty much been, I've really gotten to see that today, how much, the feeling of anxiety and what it does to me. It's so exhausting. The first feeling is anxiety. So this morning, this came up, seemingly out of nowhere, but I have now learned to recognize the thoughts that create the feelings. Before, I used to think it was the feelings that were creating the thoughts, but now I recognize after really doing so much work on myself, I recognize that the feeling of anxiety comes from the thoughts that I'm thinking that manifest the feelings, not the feelings manifesting the thoughts. So this morning when I recognized that, before I even opened my eyes, that I was feeling this feeling that I used to feel every single day. And for those of you, if you're struggling with anxiety and this is something that you live with every single day, I really, really feel for you, because unless you have anxiety, I don't think that you understand. I mean, people don't understand. People in my life would say to me, you know, Vanessa, just get over it. Vanessa, you can't act like that. Vanessa, don't think about it that way. But I could not physically change. At that point, the momentum had become so strong with me, and I was so much in that river. It's like a roaring rapids river of being caught up in those feelings of anxiety that I didn't know how to change it. And it was so much a part of who, of my identity. Really, I really got to see that every single day. That's what I dealt with. And now the fact that I'm not like that every day is really, I can compare it. And when I have days like I've had today, and when I start feeling like that, I can really just be so grateful that, wow, I used to live like this every single day, all day long. And it's so exhausting if you have anxiety. So again, I know there's somebody here viewing with me. I can't see who you are. But if you want to throw up your name in the comments, I will definitely say hello to you, because I always appreciate when people are on here watching, either on the replay. And if you are watching on the replay, just do hashtag replay so I can say hello to you and thank you for watching on the replay. But if you're here live watching, if you could let me know who you are, because I can't tell who you are until you say hello to me. But anyway, so, you know, this morning I started feeling that those old familiar, my old familiar enemy of anxiety. And, you know, right after that, then the next feeling that comes along with it is overwhelm. So then I'm starting to feel like so overwhelmed by just all the things that I feel like I have to do. I know today what started this was I had a really busy week. My week did not go at all how I had planned. I usually, you know, I plan out my week. Yes, hi, Camille. Hello, thank you always for supporting me. So my week didn't go the way I had planned, and I always plan my weeks on Sunday, which I did last week, and I forgot two big things that really changed my whole week last week, and that was the boys had back to school night on Wednesday, and then Thursday night I had to get my hair cut. And so then that right there, that just threw my whole schedule kind of, you know, super wonky. And then yesterday we had a birthday party. And so the things that I had wanted to get done, and I'm on track to do these, like, you have these goals that I want to achieve. I have this huge course that I want to finish that I bought back in 2016. And I don't know, I was starting to have a lot of anxiety and feel very overwhelmed, and really putting a lot of pressure on myself to do things that I really don't even have control over. Like I got up and I was like, you know, already feeling like I didn't have enough time, and you know, just I have all this stuff to do, and it seemed like everywhere I looked there was something that needed to be done. There was laundry and vacuuming, and you know, just that momentum. When you start getting that feeling of anxiety, that momentum that goes along with that, it's so, for me, it's, first of all, it's exhausting. So before I even got out of bed this morning, before my feet even hit the ground, I was already like exhausted from my own thoughts that happened for about 5 minutes, and then, you know, it's just, it paralyzes me. I get completely paralyzed by that. And that's the old Vanessa. That is really the old me. I used to live like that all the time. And I was basically, this is how I would function. I'd be go, go, go. And I'd be like really on, and I could get things done. And then all of a sudden I'd be totally hit with this tidal wave of just, that's what it feels like to me. It feels like being hit with a wave, and it just takes me out, and it pulls me out to sea, and it exhausts me, and it takes all my breath away. And then what would happen is it would take me a while, like a week, maybe even longer, to like kind of get my footing back again. And so it was just this constant up and down of being able, you know, I'd get all my balls in the air, and then I'd lose all my balls, and I'd get up on my balls, and I'd lose all my balls. And up until this year, for 2018, and I have a very definitive mark that I know that 2018 has been so different for me is because I made the decision to basically, first of all, I had the awareness. So it's awareness, acceptance, and then change is how it works. But I had the awareness of how much my anxiety was costing me, really starting it from an energetic perspective, because I just had no energy because I was fighting my anxiety just constantly. I mean, it was all day, every single day. And I know from the outside, people will not probably know that about me. Laura, hi. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. I love it when people are able to jump on. My friend Laura is here. And Laura, I think you probably understand this too, of dealing with anxiety and overwhelm, at least in the clients that you work with as well. But really just seeing that, I'm not going to allow it to drive my bus anymore. I'm not going to allow anxiety to be controlling my life anymore. And so basically I put it in the back seat. I made a decision that I'm going to be the person that makes the decisions for my own life. And I'm not going to be completely dictated by my anxiety. And that is really how I lived for a long, long time. So I put my anxiety in the back seat, and, it's still there, which is a really, it is great for me to recognize, like having a day like I've had today. It's not probably, maybe someday it's going to be completely gone and I'll go like a certain amount of time, like a really long time, without having to like have it rear its head. And I think that I've made strides where it's not, I don't know, maybe like once a month is how I feel about it. I don't know. It seems like it's been a really long time since I've had to deal with this. And I'm reading your comments too. I know, I love that you have a name for your anxiety. And so my friend Laura actually named her anxiety. And I love this. This is a technique that I had learned many years ago. I call mine, I call it Marge, but that's not quite fair because my grandma's name is Marge too, but I did not get that from Marge. But it's just this voice that I hear when, and today it was more my anxiety was really, because I have it manifested in a couple of different ways. And the way that it manifested today was of more of a feeling of being very overwhelmed. And then it also can manifest in the voices in the head. In fact, that's what it was doing. My Marge was talking to me before I even got on to do this, basically saying, you can't get on there and do this. You're not going to be able to get on there and do this today. It's just, my anxiety just wants to paralyze me and wants to just suffocate me. And for so long, I allowed that to happen. But now, instead of, I used to try to think my way out of it and like reason my way out of it, or, talk myself out of it. And now I realize that it's not possible, because I did that for so long that talking myself out of it isn't going to work. So now I have to act myself out of it. And that's basically what I did today. And one of the things that really helped me, I got up and went for a walk because I had to, first of all, because my dogs were like staring at me, and that was like adding to my list of things that I felt like I had to do. That was one of the things that was like, oh, I've got all these things to do and it's overwhelming. But I knew that it was really good for me to get outside and kind of get a change of scenery and not let those feelings, just keep that momentum, keep building. It's like a fire that's like a galloping horse. It's just going out of control and getting bigger and bigger. And then I had this thought of doing something that I heard someone talk about in one of my business groups that I'm in. And it really wasn't done in terms, it wasn't something that he did in terms of anxiety or dealing with it with anxiety. And it was something I was going to do today, or actually I was going to implement it I really wanted to start doing this thing, but basically I found it a really good solution to what I was going through today and the way that I was feeling today, because I was starting to feel really behind. And so what I did was I made a list. I made this list of all the things that went right this week. And I just sat down and I had to make myself, I was totally procrastinating, even just like sitting down and doing any work today because I so had this monkey of anxiety on my back. And I sat there and, I love that. Don't let Marge win. I'm not going to let Marge win. I mean, and that's the thing. You have to, anybody that's dealing with these kind of things where your mind is trying to overtake you, you have to draw the line and say, no, like, no, you are not, you have to take control of yourself. And I really I used to not think that I had control over it. I really felt like these thoughts were thinking me, these feelings were feeling me, and I didn't have control over it. And it's funny, until you start doing it, until you do it and you like slap it, you're like, no, it's so empowering when you start acting differently, when you start taking the actions to change. And so what I did was, this was so, talk about using momentum to your advantage. I started writing down, and I'm going to do this every Sunday, but I started writing down, my wins and what went right this week. And it really, I had some things happen at work. Wasn't a great week. I'm the kind of person, I tend to focus on those things. That's the old Vanessa, to focus on the problems. And I'm not that kind of person. I'm a person that focuses on the solution. And when I realized that's what I was doing, I have to go back. I went through my phone. First of all, I went through my text messages. I went through my Facebook Messenger messages, and I went through my calendar to see who I had talked to, recall the phone calls that I had had this week. And I came up with like 13 things really quickly of things that went right. And that just totally shifted the momentum of what I used to do when I had anxiety is I used to let it completely paralyze me. I mean, all day long, I acted myself out of what I really wanted to do, which was to just go back to bed and put the covers over my head and not deal with anything. And instead, I just kept putting one foot in front of the other, doing these things that I'm talking to you about here. And doing this, actually getting on here and doing this, I was like, up until the second I pushed start, I was like, I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to do it today, because that is what my mind and, my best thinking gets me. So I have to act my way around that. I want to say hi to the people that are still here. Vanessa, I finally caught you catching me live so I can say hello to you. Hello, Vanessa Keller. We have been friends for almost our whole life. So thank you for watching me live here today. So anyway, I wanted to put that out there and say, if you're a person that understands anxiety or lives with anxiety and understands what I'm talking about, please throw a heart up in the comments. So not just me, but other people here can know that they're not alone too. So let me get to my cards here and see what else I wanted to talk to you about today. Like, what did I do? Okay, I hid you for a second. I don't know, you can probably see me, but I couldn't see you. Still getting used to the technology, but man, I am making strides, and it is a good thing because next week I finally have a guest for you. Finally, I have another guest for you. Let me see, where are my notes on that? Yes, so for episode number 4 of Adventures in Happiness, I have my friend Rachel Cole, who is going to share with us her adventures in happiness, the things that she's been doing to take radical responsibility for her own happiness in her life. And yeah, Camille, I just have to put this comment up there because when I sat down to write my list about, trying to think like what went right, I, of course, my first thought was nothing went right. And then, I was like, you know what, I think some things probably, I don't think that's right. It's probably not true. So let me go through it. And, it just takes a little bit of effort. And I think that once that muscle, I get more familiar with using that muscle of focusing on the things that went right, which is something that I'm going to start doing, implementing as a habit every Sunday, is to go back and not only just, you know, for purposes of this facing my anxiety or whatever, or solving this anxiety problem, but really, I think what the really great thing about it is, Camille, if you're still here, is that it's really, you know, it's one thing to say, like, I've come so far, which, you know, I mean, we've been doing what we're doing online here for several months now, but to be able to go back, and this is how the guy that I learned this from, who uses it, he's been doing it for like 8 years, is to be able to go back and truly see how far I've come, to truly be able to see where I was at this point, and to be able to like look back and have tangible evidence that I have changed. And I'm talking about in the future, to be able to look back and have this and be like, wow, this is how I was feeling then, and I'm so different now. I'm so different now than I used to be. And that's what this is all about. In order for us to keep moving forward, we have to keep facing these things that are obstacles in our past. And each of us has our own things that we have to deal with. That's what I have to deal with. So, so again, next week, next Sunday, episode 4, right? Episode 4 of Adventures in Happiness. We are going to be interviewing my friend, Rachel Cole. And, you know, also I wanted to thank you guys. Thank you so very much for the messages and the comments and the just support that I got for my video that I did last week. It was overwhelming, and I appreciate it so much. I want to just show up for you guys here and make sure that I'm offering things that are valuable to you. I don't want to waste your time. And I appreciate all of the support that I got from that. You know, what's funny is I did that video, right? And then I went to Trader Joe's to buy the salad. And I don't know if any of you did this, but if I couldn't, the salad, that Spanish Santa Fe chopped salad that I was talking about it was out. It was out. I went to 3 different Trader Joe's, couldn't find it anywhere. And then finally, by the end of the week, I decided to try a different salad. And I have to say, I didn't think I was going to like it, but I kind of now, I'm going to mix this other one. And it's the Thai, or it's the one that has a curry. And I'm not really a curry fan, but I really like that salad. It's got a little bit of a spice to it in the dressing. So this afternoon, I'm going to Trader Joe's this afternoon, and I'm going to add that into my rotation. And I talked to the guys at Trader Joe's, and they told me that the Santa Fe salad is back in. So if you guys had that issue with that and you tried to get that Santa Fe salad and it was out, well, that is, hopefully they have it back in your area. And I don't know what the problem is with why it was on back order or what happened. And there's my friend Kathy, one of my biggest fans. One of my best friends, I should say, one of my oldest friends. Thank you for being here. I love this too, this happiness jar. You do that, you write, I know people that do this, that you write three things I'm grateful for or accomplished. That's really cool too. I like that idea. And then you can see that visual of seeing the jar and having like those things in there. I love that. I'm such a visual person. And then Camille also is finishing off by saying some days it's tough, but it makes you focus on the good. I mean, you know, I think these are things that we all, you know, we all tend to have to deal with. So anyway, I wanted to thank you guys, as usual, for being here with me. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys again next Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific, where I have my next interview, my second interview, and the whole reason that I wanted to come and do these, you know, in the first place, to do my show was to interview people. So I am looking so forward to talking with my friend Rachel next Sunday at 3. Thanks you guys for being here with me. If you watched on the replay and made it this far, please hit replay in the comments so I can say hello to you, and thank you for watching. Bye.